This video is brought to you by BetUS Sportsbook and Casino.
Running Back Nation, what is good? It is your boy DJ Eastwood, Running Back Philly, no frauds, no fanboys. Never had an intro. Give me 1 million likes on this video. Here's what we're going to do today. We're going to watch a clip that popped up on my YouTube a couple of days ago. I did not listen to it, but I'm kind of interested in what they're about to say. It's Bill Simmons Podcast, kind of notorious 76ers hater. But there's a clip of him and some of his co-hosts talking about whether the Sixers need a third star. And I'm just interested in to kind of hear from a perspective outside of our own fan base. So we're just going to listen to that and react to it on this episode of Run It Back Philly. But first, this is brought to you by BetUS.
BetUS, America's favorite sportsbook and casino. Live betting and racebook. We're celebrating 30 years with a historic offer. A 125% sign-up bonus on your first 3 deposits. Plus 10% gambler's insurance. Get started today. BetUS, where the game begins.
We're over here on the BetUS website, and we got Dallas Mavericks, Minnesota Timberwolves, Game 5 tonight. The Timberwolves haven't put up much of a fight in this series at all, aside from Game 4 being down 3-0. It's in Minnesota, yeah, but when you look at the odds here on BetUS, man, a plus 160 for the Dallas Mavericks to close it out tonight in Minnesota, I'm taking that, all right? So plus 160, Dallas to close out Minnesota tonight, $20 gives us 32. That ain't even a big payout, bro. Drop a hundo on there. Give us 160. Let's go. Confirm. You can get a 125% deposit bonus on your first 3 deposits up to $2,500 and 10% gambler's insurance on BetUS. Use the link in my description. Thank you, BetUS, for sponsoring the channel. Now let's go over to the video, man, and let's just watch, listen, react to Bill Simmons and his boys. And the title of this is, Do the 76ers Need a Third Star? Let me make sure we're live here audio-wise. All right, we're good. I think his one friend right here is a 76ers fan. So let's just hear it.
We start talking about like, oh, this guy might be available and Donovan Mitchell might be available and Paul George and everything.
Yeah.
I wonder whether or not like there will be any trickle-down effect from the success of certain teams in the playoffs this year of people being like, I think actually what we would like to do is go 7 deep with guys who know their role around our 2 stars. And the happiest I was as a Sixers fan this year is when I felt like there was that kind of balance on the team before Embiid got hurt.
Yeah.
Where
I agree with that. In the regular season, it looked like that. Also, Mr. Sixers fan, you didn't watch Daryl Morey's press conference. If you think there's any chance of the 76ers front office saying, you know what, we want to go 7 deep and build a team full of high-level role players because of what we're seeing in the NBA playoffs currently. Daryl Morey literally made the argument that, yes, teams are winning now with less all-stars and deeper rosters, but over the course of history, teams with the better players up top win. He literally said that out loud, and it's what he's always done as a GM, is try to get multiple all-stars on a team and fish after big names. So if you know anything about Daryl Morey and you watch this press conference and listen closely, you wouldn't even be asking this question, because it's flat out 100% not going to happen. He's going after Paul George, Jimmy Butler, at least Brandon Ingram. I think if you want him to build a team full of role players and role guys, we have to hope that his first couple of options don't come to fruition. The only way for you to get this out of Daryl Morey is for him to swing and miss on what he really wants to do. He's not going to sit back and say, you know what, I don't want, that's not what's going to happen. Anyway.
would like to do is go 7 deep with guys who, of people being like, I think actually what from the success of certain teams in the playoffs this year, of people being like, I think actually what we would like to do is go 7 deep with guys who know their role around our 2 stars. And the happiest I was as a
guy has no idea who Daryl Morey is and what he does, man.
Sixers fan this year is when.
But I agree. That's what I would like. That's what all Sixers fans, I think, would like, but it's not what he's going to do.
I felt like there was that kind of balance on the team before Embiid got hurt.
Yeah.
Where it was like Maxey and Embiid were the clear 1 and 2.
Which time?
There's the sly little Embiid injured joke from a Boston Celtics fan.
Clear 1 and 2.
Which time?
Got hurt.
Yeah.
Where I felt like there was that kind of balance on the team before Embiid got hurt.
Yeah.
Where it was like Maxey and Embiid were the clear 1 and 2.
Which time?
Did he get hurt twice this year? I don't even understand the joke, really. Yeah. All right. Anyway, this is going to make me want to. Never mind. I'm not going to say it.
I thought you already got your one free swing. We're like swing five
He said
now.
when Embiid got hurt. I just wanted more clarification.
The changing paradigm of NBA team building. You know,
oh, sorry. Okay,
you got to make it regional. Anyway, I was just wondering out loud, like, oh, I wonder whether or not anybody's going to look at Dallas and be like, huh, like, where's my Gafford? Rather than,
we wish he would. He's not. It's Daryl Morey, bro. What don't you understand? Are you listening to me?
Okay, let's bring in another guy who are gonna, and we're gonna have to find the chemistry and find all this.
Wouldn't you say it's different if you have Luka or you have Wembanyama or if you have?
Yes, 100%. I completely agree with this with Bill Simmons. I'm glad he went there because I've been saying, like, I could talk about Dallas's role players and how the Sixers need to do what they're doing, but it's also probably one of the best point guards we'll ever see play the game in Luka Doncic, elevating those guys. So the Sixers don't have that either.
Jokic, you really only need one other major guy and then some awesome role players, I would say. Because it's like the major guys almost were two guys, right, Rob?
You do need to be sure that whoever your best player is, and I think Joel Embiid is clearly one of these guys, is a truly, truly elite player, like an immutable force in a potential series. Of course, their efficiency is going to go up and down, but they change the matchups by being on the floor.
I agree with that guy. Who's the guy in the middle? I like him a lot.
And so they have to be really good. Obviously, when your second guy is a shot creator like Kyrie, that changes a lot.
Yeah.
But what you do below them, I think it can get tricky. And almost we want to have it both ways sometimes, where these teams that do the 3-star model, yeah, you get burned if you have Bradley Beal as your third star. That's clearly not good enough just to like.
Why didn't the Phoenix Suns know this? Why did everybody else know this? And the Phoenix Suns didn't know this.
Poured a bunch of minimum contracts filling out the rest of the roster. I think Paul George is significantly better than that. If you're talking about a third or however you want to classify.
Yeah, let's go, guy in the middle. Let's go, guy in the middle. Let's go.
By the pecking order of what would be in Philadelphia. And at the same time, the other outlets are the other avenues for building teams have their pitfalls too. If you may think you're 7 deep, but then you get in the playoffs and you're only actually 5 deep. And all of your best laid plans go to shit because 2 role players couldn't quite be as good as you thought they were. So,
like the 76ers' entire supporting cast this season. Like the guy said earlier, I thought they were deep before Embiid got hurt. And I don't think it had to do with Embiid's injury. I think it had to do with the playoffs, and they just weren't that good.
Or Michael Malone didn't get the email about playing like the young kids in the playoffs.
Peyton Watson,
right.
So, those things are...
Hey, Nick Nurse didn't either, man. Does this guy... How are you going to call out Mike Malone when Nick Nurse did the same thing? Do you watch Sixers? You just said you're a Sixers fan. You don't really watch Sixers games.
I think there's so many ways for NBA teams to go wrong, and we always want to diagnose them, and you want to give yourself as many outs as you can, but realistically...
Does Bill Simmons add anything to the podcast besides taking shots at the Sixers or Embiid's injuries?
If you can get 3-star level players, I still think that's a really good model.
If I'm Paul George, I could just stay in LA, make a ton of money. I'm from LA. I wouldn't say there's a shitload of pressure on the Clipper players out here, right? Nice weather every day, and I have an awesome.
Okay, I didn't realize I was going to have to educate a supposed, sports expert on what's going on in the sport. Bill Simmons says, if I'm Paul George, I can just stay in LA, make a ton of money. Yeah, if the Clippers were offering him the max contract that he wants, of course he would stay there. The whole argument is that Paul George might leave because they're not giving him the contract that he wants. That's how he could land up in Philly. You're talking about it like Paul George is just going to randomly make the decision to leave LA and come to Philly. That's not even what we're talking about, bro. Bill doesn't even know Bill doesn't even know the topic that's being discussed on his own show. This was a lot more fun than I thought it was going to be.
Here, right? Nice weather every day, and I have an awesome house. Or I could move to Philadelphia with one of the most psychotic fan bases that exists.
Well, that's true.
Keep
where
going.
the moment anything goes wrong, it's my fucking fault. I'm the new Tobias Harris.
That's called
That's true.
pressure breaks pipes,
I'm living
baby.
in Philadelphia, which I'm pretty sure there's no ocean, like just to
It's
have
like
a
2
nice.
hours away. What are you
Yeah,
talking
2
about?
hours away. And the only reason I leave the Clippers is it's like I'm tired of this Kawhi roller coaster, not knowing if this guy's going to play.
No, the only reason he would leave the Clippers is because they're not offering him the contract. How did you miss this main point of the topic, bro? The guy's way off base.
I'm going to sign up for Joel Embiid because that's going to be a much more stable game after game, month after month relationship.
To you and Kawhi Leonard, like I think Joel Embiid's relationship to the Sixers and the Sixers fans is much different than Kawhi Leonard's relationship.
I'm talking
to the
about him
Clippers
being
fans.
on the court.
Yes.
See,
Hey, Bill, Porzingis isn't on the court right now.
are.
Yeah.
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 So if I'm leaving Kawhi, I want to go to a team where I know this.
I wish Embiid maybe had a little bit more Kawhi. I wish he took more nights off and was more like, hey, it's the knee's a little gamey. I'm going to.
I agree with that. Thank you for that. I'll take Embiid playing. You know what, Embiid? Play 40 games next season. And if you land Jimmy Butler or Paul George, play them 40 games too.
I'm going to let it rest.
That's fair.
Well, let
Can
me
I-
ask you this after these playoffs. Who is that star that you're positive will be on the court?
Oh, good question, guy in the middle. What you going to say to this one, Bill?
Because everybody else is dropping like flies.
But
like there have been major
goes
injuries
back to
for
my
so many
Tatum Brown
teams.
point. Those
Oh, he doesn't have an answer because he's talking out his.
guys fucking play. Nobody mentions that as like a strength.
Yeah, super
Knock on
durable.
wood. Knock on wood. Jokic, same thing. Luka, even though he gimps around sometimes, he's still fucking out there every time. Here's the solution for all of
I feel like some of these old guys throw curse words in the middle of their podcast now to try to be hip. Does anybody else get a little cringe when a guy like Bill Simmons randomly says the F word?
us with Paul George. A double sign and trade with the Lakers. Turn the camera on, Kyle. Double sign and trade. LeBron gets to stay in LA, but he goes to the Clippers to open the new stadium, finish his career
All right. We're not even going to respond to this.
there. Paul George gets to finally play with the Lakers after it was blocked by Adam Silver a couple years ago. And
What?
finally he gets to be a Laker. And he gets to be him and AD and JJ Redick. And we're off. It's a new era for the Lakers.
Wait, do
Kinda
you think
fun, right?
JJ Redick was that like conditional that they get rid of LeBron so that there's no conflict of
No,
interest
I'm
with the
just saying
podcast?
it's a new post LeBron era with Paul George, AD.
I couldn't possibly star in a TV
Austin
show made by
Reeves.
Andy Greenwald. It would complicate our podcasting relationship.
No, I did. I just like that.
I love
like
it.
the narrative of that. LeBron and the Clippers. Ballmer's like, this is great. I have LeBron James to help open my new arena. We'll see if he can get. What is he? What are his things left? 40,000 points.
All right.
Has he done that?
All
He did.
Is the end of this
There's gotta
just people saying dumb things that aren't going to happen?
He's some milestone left he can break in the.
Okay. All right, that's the end of it. There it is. There's the Bill Simmons podcast, everyone. I had to listen to it, so you had to listen to it. I didn't know it was going to be that off base and just non-factual whatsoever, and just basically 5 minutes of shit talking. But did they answer the question? Do the Sixers need a third star? They didn't really even answer the question. Bill just said that nobody wants to go to Philly, or why would Paul George go to Philly? Because he doesn't even at least read Twitter before he comes on to his own podcast. And then the other guy said the Sixers should build a deep roster instead of hunting for stars. And the guy in the middle, he was like, who's the third star that's always healthy? And Bill couldn't really even answer the question. He went back to talking about Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown again. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. You know, sorry if that gave you nothing of value. I just did it for fun. You know, it's the off season. I'm probably going to do this a lot, reacting to other podcasts and things like that. So thanks for hanging out with me. Hit the like button on the video, and I'll see you guys very soon, man. I'm out.